A federal judge appointed by Barack Obama in Chicago has decided that federal law doesn't apply to illegal aliens. In other words, if you're illegal, you can carry a gun, you can buy ammunition, you can sell a gun, you can transport it, you can ship it overseas, you can sell it in other states. In other words, the Second Amendment applies to you, not necessarily American citizens, but it does apply to you, Mr. Illegal. We're going to start with a little bit of a follow-up about this goofball judge in Chicago. Her name is Sharon Johnson Coleman. She was appointed by Barack Obama. When you hear what she ruled, it's not going to be a shocker to you. So let's start out with her picture. This is her, nice, pleasant-looking lady. Looks like a scholar. But when you hear her rulings, you may not think so. She is a federal judge, and she ruled that the Constitution, in regards to the Second Amendment, applies to felons who have broken into the country illegally. I'll say this again. If you break into the United States, you're a felon, you've broken the law, you have no constitutional privileges, but this judge, just so you remember her name, Sharon Johnson Coleman, has ruled that undocumented migrants that own firearms can legally possess and carry them. And this was the case of Heriberto Carbajal Flores, who was arrested for violating federal law that says non-citizens can't possess guns. And she cited the law, and he was charged with U.S. Title 18 of the U.S. Criminal Code that bans non-citizens from possessing firearms and ammunition, or receiving firearms or ammunition, or transporting them in interstate or foreign commerce. And she decided that he has a right that she's not even giving to citizens like you deadbeat. What you should have done,
oh my goodness,
if you had any sense, is broken into the country, change your name to Rodrigo Johnson, and you can carry a gun, you can have ammunition, you can transport it in interstate commerce, and you can send guns and ammunition overseas. Yay, Second Amendment. You thought it applied to you. Wrong.
Yeah. You know what, Barry? This makes me think about when Obama was in office. I think it was right when he was getting ready to go out of office. He said that he needs a private army. Kind of sounds like this is what they're working on.
I remember
I'm not saying
that.
it is exactly, but it really sounds like this is what they're working on, the private army that they've been wanting for the longest. And they're allowing people who have broken the law. Now, wait a minute. Here's another thing, Barry. In the United States of America, if you break the law, a federal crime, you can no longer purchase a firearm. That becomes something that you cannot you can't partake in any longer. But in this case, they break federal law, they come into the country, and now they're trying to arm them.
No. It's now legal.
Yes.
It's now legal.
I know, that's my point.
A gun, he can buy ammunition, he can sell a gun, he can sell ammunition, he can transport it in the state, out of the state, across state lines, and across the national lines. He can be a gun dealer. And there's a federal law that's been on the books forever. Dude, it's a federal law that specifically says if you are in the country illegally, you have no Second Amendment rights. And you know why there's a law? Because there's no background check on you. We don't know who you are. We don't know where you came from. We don't know what you're going to do with the guns. I mean, look, I'm a Second Amendment dude. So are you. But I don't want this guy to have a gun.
Barry, that is a very, very good point. The background check. I mean, that right there. And wait a minute, we're constantly hearing about how those on the left constantly talking about a background check. We need more background checks. We need more background checks. And they said that conservatives, Republicans, those right wingers, they don't want background checks. But in this case, how can you possibly do a background check when these people, the identity of these people are unknown? There's no Social Security unless they stolen one. There's no bank records. There's no residence. There's nothing for 5 years when they just came across the border. That is a very good point.
She says none of that applies.
Wow. Just wow.
And is it a shock who appointed her to the federal bench?
No.
She's an Obama appointee, Will.
Yeah. No, it's no shocker. And that's
but
part of the reason why they did that, right?
What's that?
That's part of the reason why they did that, right?
You tell me. If you go to Chicago, Will Johnson, you can't carry. Look, they got gun-free zone signs everywhere, which work greatly. Everybody that's driving through Chicago, especially on the south side, where the crime is out of control, and you see a sign that says, you are entering a gun-free zone, people pull over and throw their guns out the window all the time, don't they? Because the sign said, gun-free zone. Right?
Well, the criminals, they adhere to the law. So yeah, they're throwing them out the window.
Especially near schools and
banks
and hospitals
and government facilities.
Right, and government buildings, because they have put up hundreds and hundreds of signs. Right?
Well, I think the main time they actually throw the guns out the windows when they get close to the governor's mansion, or they get too close to, even Lightfoot. When they still get close to her, they still throw them out. And when they get in the hood, they don't throw out the gun, but they do throw out bullets. But they're going out really fast.
We're gonna have a talk about the new mayor that made, what you used to call her, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
This new mayor makes her look like Ronald Reagan. This guy is so far left.
Yes.
Oh my God. Anyway, the point being, just so everybody remembers her face, okay, I want you all to know this woman is nutty. That this guy and all other illegals, according to her, may no longer be charged under Title 18 of the U.S. Criminal Code. Non-citizens can possess firearms and ammunition, and can receive firearms and ammunition, can ship firearms and ammunition in domestic and foreign commerce. She said he didn't seem to be doing anything illegally. That's what she said.
After he already broke the law. Is
this like Babylon B? Find a felon, give him guns.
It's more like an episode of South Park. That's what it makes me think about, an episode of South Park.
It's just that nuts.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
You know, Marco Rubio, who as you know, I've spent some time with, and luncheons and dinners, and been one-on-one with him. He said something really smart. He said, this ruling blurs the line between citizenship and everything else. People are here illegally. You wonder if it's not being done to sort of mock both gun laws and the whole understanding of the value of being a citizen of America. What's the difference, Will? Really? They're getting to the point where they blurred the line. Actually, I shouldn't even say that, because these people get free health care, free housing, right? Free food, transportation, and gun rights. You don't have, because you made the mistake of being born to a service member in the United States.
Yep. Now I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the new new correct term that they're using for them, because you can't say the illegal word. You can't say that. At one point they were saying undocumented citizens, but I think it's the newcomers. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you're right. We talked about this last week. Newcomers.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't remember. The newcomers. So now the newcomers in the country, what is that? What is that? They don't have, and you're right, Barry. here I am struggling just like everybody else, trying to make a living, trying to live the American dream, an entrepreneur. I'm barely hanging on, keeping the lights on, barely able to pay for health insurance, barely able to keep the rent going, barely able to do anything. But yet, if you're illegal, you come into the, I'm sorry. If you're a newcomer, undocumented citizen, you get a $1,400 debit card for every week. Some of them get 10 grand a month. You get free health care. And now they're allowing you to buy bullets and firearms to protect yourself from American citizens that don't get any of it. And yet the American citizens are paying for all of it. Make that make sense.
Well, I'm not smart enough because I wasn't appointed to the federal bench by Barack Obama to make opinions like this that are changing federal law, voted on by both houses of Congress and signed by various presidents. And it's been on the books for a long time, Will.
Yeah, let me say this really quick, if I can. Yeah. I'm looking in the comments because I like to engage with the people, leaving comments. It looked like getting the comments working. For some reason, it weren't working in the last couple of times. But it looked like Mendez, if I'm saying it right, says that they're putting American citizens last. That is such a true statement. President Trump, he was always talking about America first. They say America last because, God forbid they say America first. That means we're siding with Trump. We can't do that. But they're not going to say it out loud either, America last. But
that's why That's why you've been called a white supremacist numerous times, and it shows.
Yeah, white powder, because I like cake.